Back-to-back games on our Leaf Edition hour of the real Kyper and Bourne show. We are live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. If you can't catch us live, give us a download on Spotify, Apple Podcast, also available on YouTube, where we have great chats. They give us a thumbs up.
Do they?
I don't know.
Thanks, guys.
I'm really hoping they
I
do.
hope so, too.
Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandeo, and James Wilson.
No, it's Jake.
It's Jake the Snake, not James Wilson.
It's been James Wilson for the last 2 days. Every time I walk in there, it's somebody different. So
Wilson.
I'm starting to think he doesn't create this lineup from scratch.
Oh,
what? We go from absolutely, scratching our butts to back-to-back games.
Yeah.
So, the anticipation was good last night. Looking forward to the game, especially, in our Leaf Edition hour of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay. That was the good part, the anticipation.
The anticipation was good, he says.
But disappointing is an...
It's a reality check is what it was. It was snap back to reality. That was oh boy, it's Domi and McMahon on the top line. It was just, whoa. What's the opposite of whiplash? Lash whip. And it was just like, whoa.
I did Leafs talk last night with JD Bunkus, and he said after the game, I thought it was perfectly said. He said, I was excited, the anticipation. I thought it'd be good to get back in the routine. And 10 minutes into it, he's like, I never want to do this again. I was like, I agree.
Matthew's comments after the Olympics where he said, what was the line about went for one, stayed for two, home by three, or something like that?
Yeah.
And McKee tweeted last night, same thing about the hockey game.
Yeah.
Checked in for one, stayed for two, is done by three.
I actually had never heard that line before, and I think it's a fantastic line, and I will be using it from here.
We were expecting something closer, better, more balanced. I know you don't. Your reality is Domi and McMahon compared to what you saw on Tampa Bay, but really disappointing off of 3 weeks that they wouldn't find a way to keep this thing closer.
Buddy, it wasn't. I mean,
they got caved.
Well, and they also took goals off the board, so it looked way better than it was. But the reality was that game was 4-0, 5-0 at some point until they shot a couple in at the end of the game once Tampa had punted on the match. But yeah, no, it wasn't particularly close. Not a great effort. They looked out of sorts. Tampa Bay looked like they had been practicing together the whole time, even though we know that's not true.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was bad. Bad.
It's
bad.
It's really not rocket appliances here, to quote my friend Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. One team good, one team sucks.
Sucks.
That's what it looked like last night.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Let's get to Craig Berube's overall thoughts on last night. Clip one.
Yeah, first period, I thought, we played a good, solid period. We had 3 2-on-1s in the first period. We don't get a shot off, so, we got to execute those plays better. Second period, I thought that we were flat early, and they got a couple goals, and that's a difference in the game for me.
Not to give away our chat secrets, but you liked their first period too, didn't you?
I did. I thought that it was a competitive period until the Bolts figured out how to play hockey.
Yeah.
I thought that the 2-on-1 acumen could use some work. I mean, he said they had 2 2-on-1s. Have they ever seen a scoring chance before, those two?
Yeah, Steven Lorentz seemed shocked to be in those situations. He looked a little rusty in some of those offensive spots. Never his forte. So, yeah, it was a tough watch at times. Watching Tampa pass it, watching Kucherov and Point do their thing in that game was
Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, I mean the Kucherov goal, the touch Gonçalves makes instead of just ripping that, some pretty high-end skill over there in Tampa Bay, who, by the way, has also been going for it for a lot of years and is still tippity-top.
Peak.
Yeah. You Moser and Radish, guys that you find along the way, develop. Holmberg is part of a line that shuts down.
But how many
Matthews
years
line.
now have they've gotten all world from Kucherov, Point? Those two guys to me stand out, and McDonough and Hedman still find a way to get things done. But
Look at Point, hey? Could have used him
They
in Italy.
they locked them up early. What appeared to be a team-friendly contracts, right, with the state tax and whatever you want to say, and they're still riding them.
Yeah. It's nice. I mean, listen, Brisebois has done pretty much everything right. It's really hard to not go away after you go for it for a lot of years. And boy, they really are humming. I'm trying to find Point's contract.
I grew up around the Gretzky, Mario, Yzerman, Pavel Bure, all these top players.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kucherov is, for me, going to go down as one of the best, and maybe arguably as good as anybody on a power play I've ever seen.
That's so funny you say that, because I said on Leafs Talk last night, and I was going to ask you guys about it. Is he one of the best power play players of all time?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe the best.
honestly,
I think there's a case to be made for sure. I don't know what his actual stats are, but I know when he has the puck.
There's nothing he can't do. Like, and when you want to talk about great ones like Gretzky, of course, and Mario.
97's pretty good,
right?
on the power play.
Brett Hull can shoot a puck. Like, we get all that. But to have as many tools as he has, the vision, the passing, he's maybe the best passer I've ever seen. But then he has this one-timer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that, I mean, Mario didn't have a one-timer. Gretzky didn't have a one-timer. I mean, they were great and they were all-world. But, like, this guy has everything.
I couldn't agree more. Power play points over the last 5 years, he's one behind Draisaitl for second. McDavid's ahead of them both by 20. So, yeah. But I mean, 208 power play points over the past 5 years for him. And he's played the fewest games by 20-some. So, yeah, he's among them. And it is just last night, it felt like a bit of a talent disparity between the two teams. Not sure what else, but it wasn't particularly close.
Let's go to clip 2 on Craig Berube on what he thinks Tampa does well. Is this like a 40-minute clip?
None of them are good. So,
Well, they don't give you a lot of room out there, that's for sure. And they only got a lot of skill. They can make plays, but I thought that did a good job for a lot of the game defending it and making sure we had numbers and people back and doing a good job. But in the end, you give them a couple of free ones and they capitalize on them. That was, and we, four penalties we took tonight.
It's just tough. Like, you're in your own end the whole time. It feels like all the shots, all the rush stuff, it's all coming against you. So, I don't love the idea that you just gave them a couple. But this is Tampa Bay is one of the few best teams in the NHL. To me, this is you call it a measuring stick game. What are the Leafs trying to be? If they're trying to get in playoffs, you're more measuring yourself against Washington or whoever, but they're not at this level or anywhere close to it.
I just look, for me, the biggest difference between those two teams is just the way the defense corps plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just that you look at up and down that decor that they have. They've made shrewd trades. They get that Mosier in the Utah. Was that from Utah last year, 2024? I think they got it.
Sergachev? No.
Yeah, I think it was
a switch with Utah.
Yeah.
Right? So they let go of Sergachev. They end up with this guy who's playing on their top pair. Great trade. They sign him long term. This Dastu they were talking about was the ECHL Defender of the Year. Now he's moved up through their system, playing well. McDonough is what he is. Chernak's the guy they've developed. Hedman was a top. Like, it's just their development of guys, including, and just to cover off what they've had with the injuries or whatever, is just so much. It's so stark that's like one of the big differences. Like the Leafs, I mean, they've got one homegrown guy in their decor, and it's Morgan Riley.
They tried to draft smaller skilled D. They tried to get Sandin. They tried to do the Liljegren thing, but like
the Topies and the Ronies, whatever one of those was defense.
Crazy that neither of them ever made any of us figure it out.
No, I mean, you look at the Leafs decor, and it's Morgan Riley, who they've drafted, but it's McCabe, who they had to spend a first-round pick on. It's Carlo, who they had to spend a first-round pick on. It's Benoit, who they signed off the scrap heap. It's Stetcher, who they got from waivers. It's just, they're doing a great job, and it kind of just illustrates how badly the Leafs have developed defensemen over the last little bit, to me. And Sandin would be playing for them right now. Like, he would be in the decor.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just something I noticed.
You got a clip on Berube talking about the break?
About what he thought it did to the game? Yeah, let's play it. Another thrilling one. Okay. Clip
3.
Well, it does probably affect it a bit, but the 2-on-1s, we got to get chances off of them. We didn't. We had our looks. We didn't score. Willie had a couple breakaways and other opportunities, but we didn't do a good enough job.
I will say, William Nylander had all the chances that they had, right?
Yep.
He had the one where he tried to go 5-hole, couldn't get it through. He did the backhand toe drag, couldn't get it around the pad. He had lots of chances. He was skating well and involved offensively.
Set up Tavares after Kensel with the Patrick
Almost
Stefan
did the
miss.
Patrick Stefan.
No, he did. He went
yeah.
full Stefan. He fell down right after he missed.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the full Stefan.
Obviously, we've had in-depth conversations about Austin and what kind of shape he would be in and what can we expect after the game was over. I think the most positive thing is he didn't hurt himself for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he end up with a point?
Yes, he did.
Was it on the Nyes?
Yeah, the Nyes.
Yeah.
The knuckler?
80-foot.
What was that? That was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that was strange.
But, no real surprise, right? Come on. What were we expecting? And then if you watched the highlight of Jack Hughes there, thinking that Tage Thompson was a teammate of his last night. Did you see his giveaway?
No, I didn't see
yeah.
the giveaway. No.
It was a pizza.
Oh, my gosh.
To Thompson?
Yeah, right to
Yeah.
Thompson.
I saw Thompson's goal.
That one had blowing over 0.8 written all over it.
I mean, the confidence of that guy to just take the microphone before the game and do like an Arita concert, stand-up comedy session, pull Tage off his bench impromptu before the game. I know. I was doing the Sutter book with Daryl, and he was saying the first time he played against his brothers, he said, we wouldn't look over at the other end. We didn't want anyone on our team to think that we had a friend on the other side, for the fear before the game, just skating around, arm around a guy on the other team.
The Sabres sent out a tweet about it. With both of them standing there being like, hey, play Freebird. It's everybody, they're just dunking on us every chance they get. Every chance.
Let's get Craig Bruby's
Unbelievable
thoughts.
song.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get Craig Bruby's thoughts. Derek, clip 5 on his captain last night.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. We used him a lot at the end, obviously, with the goalie out, and they did some real good things with the goalie out. But, I didn't sense he was tired or anything like that. He was good.
All right, let's say the quiet part. Kind of looked like he looks a lot.
No, I thought no. This one was even way worse than whatever you're insinuating to me. He did not want to handle the puck. He got off the ice fairly quickly. There's no
Played 23 minutes last night.
It doesn't matter to me.
That's just how bad the Leafs are. They're guy who is.
I just thought
Michelob Ultra.
He just looked like he couldn't wait to get off the ice, and I don't blame him one bit.
Me neither.
Okay, I don't. And
4 minutes.
if we wake up today, if you search your phone or the internet, it's not getting any easier for I think him and the Leafs, because this story obviously of going to the White House won't go away. I don't know if you guys caught Damien Cox's article in the Toronto Star, but it and listen, I'm not. This isn't against Damien, and it's not about Austin, but it goes to my earlier point of watching him last night. Is like this guy's been completely set up, and it's not his fault. It's not. I mean, he could. Yeah, of course, you could sit there and say he could have gone. He could have not gone to the White House. Whatever I don't care about that, but. We set him up to fail last night, and I said it before the game, right? And I hate what's going on right now with him. I hate it because there could have been ways to protect him or avoid him from this pitfall that he's in right now, and I don't know where it's spinning to. Is it going to alleviate? Or is it going to get worse?
I don't know. I will say, watching how the Americans are watching us in Canada and Toronto specifically react to the aftermath of the gold medal game, you know, I kind of find a lot of the coverage today, it's a bit much for me. Like the Matthews stuff, like the Toronto Star today had the Cox article, which basically said that that Matthews chose country and politics over the Leafs, which I don't think that's fair. I don't think he did that. And
but if he did
he play?
But listen,
yeah, he was there.
But if he did it, we did it to him.
Well, but fine.
Right?
But every
We did it to him.
other American player also did that. A few didn't go, but they
I know.
all played. The 20 guys or whatever that went to the White House, they all played.
But even last night,
Yeah.
like if he doesn't, like people, I make calls today and they're like, you know, I give him full credit. He played.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where we're at, that he just gets credit for putting his uniform on.
Well,
And
I
it's
don't
like,
see why you wouldn't give him some credit considering.
No. I'm just saying, though, it's like we're going to give him a ton of credit just for putting the uniform on, or we're going to rip him for not putting it on. Like he's in a no-win situation because even if he puts the uniform on,
Sounds like that's the
he's
win.
not very good. We know he's not going to be very good, and we know his heart's not in it. So what are we really doing?
No, we don't. We don't know his heart's not
No,
in it.
he played like his heart wasn't in it last night.
I think that's your opinion. I don't think it's fair to say his heart's not in it. I think he came back.
It's not like his heart's in it. And when I say his heart's not in it, he's not all in.
He's not at his best.
He's not at his best.
But Kip, how could you expect him to be?
Of course. And my whole point is we did that to him. He didn't do it to himself.
We as
the league, the Players Association, the pressure of the fans, the pressure of the media.
You're saying,
we set him up to lose.
But you're
is
saying
my point.
that it's a lose-lose. But the
It
situation,
is a lose-lose.
But everyone else, aside from this conversation, you're talking about is saying, good for him. Got back. He came back from this, didn't go to the State of the Union, came back, showed up and played for the team. He didn't like his game. I don't think anyone's expecting him to be very good, but I think that's all you ask of the guy. And then, there's another article in the same paper kind of doing the same thing about, hobnobbing with people have very extreme views and this stuff. I'm tired of the political reaction to it all. I know I'm not trying to avoid it. We've talked about it for 3 days.
Yeah.
But then
if
you're
anyone
the third
accuses
article,
us of avoiding it, then please
not true.
listen to our
Go
show.
listen to our other shows. You also wrote about Matthews in the paper. The Toronto Star had 3 articles today about him. And, he put on the jersey and he showed up and he came back and he played. Now, is it going to have some knock-on effects that he was there and talking with American guys and wanting to play in America? I think the biggest thing is the Leafs got to be good. The Leafs are good. I think he said he wants to stay. So they can focus here about fielding a good hockey team. And that's the same with all superstars in the league. Yeah. Field a good team and they'll want to be there. That's kind of where it ends for me. If they're bad, it's not because someone wrote an article in the paper that would make them want to leave. It's just a lot of discourse right now I think is not helpful.
I don't expect them any better tonight.
Well, no,
of course not.
But guess what? They all stink. The whole team stinks. And it's like he can go out there and play okay and they're fine, but it's like when you can't get a breakout pass and you're playing alongside 2 guys that should be on an NHL third line, he's not in a very good position to success, even if he is sober, Kip. Like, I've made my point very clear about how I felt about him going to the White House, but just the coverage today and the way it's talked about.
Even if they would have, had them play Thursday or Friday, why Wednesday on a gold medal game where you almost were 100% guaranteed that at least one North American team was going to be in a final?
23
right?
or 25
and
guys
it's like, okay, so then we know the championship team's going to party like crazy. We didn't know the White House would be involved, but so what? It is involved. It's like we're going to ask them now to go party for 3 days in a row, run the circuit, and then go play 22 minutes? What are we, nuts?
Yeah, I think that's the case we made the other day when I mentioned the Mike Amato tweet about, can we just shift the whole thing back, give them an extra day buffer?
But I also don't think the NHL probably thought that the USA was going to party like it was the first time any of them had ever won anything.
Yeah, I do think it would have looked
totally
very different if McKinnon shoots that in the net and it's the Canadian team.
I really hope, and people bash me for being a Matthews hater or whatever, I can handle it.
Do they?
Well,
Yeah.
you're not you were never a Matthews hater.
Well, read my mentions and DMs. People
Just
think,
recently, though.
within the last year, when the results haven't been as good and he hasn't been as good. But here's the thing. I don't want him to leave. I don't want him to not play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I don't want to look back on this 4-day stretch. I want to look back on this as a footnote in a bunch of us being super sour that we lost. Mm-hmm. And we are a sour grapes country right now. 100%. We could not be more pissed off. And I get it. I'm feeling it every day. I think about it 4 times a day, every day. I get it. I don't want this to be a point where we look back on and we all say, that was it.
Yeah.
That was the end. That's when Austin Matthews saw what people are saying about him.
A lot of people are talking like that.
That's what I worry about. As a fan, it's like Austin Matthews, flaws, hated him shaking hands with Trump, hate all that. But like, I'm a Dumbo hockey fan who likes hockey players on his hockey team.
Shoot it in.
I want him to be on the team.
Do you want to know the terrible truth, or do you want to see me hit dingers?
I just
dingers.
I worry that these last 3 days are going to change his perception forever.
Yes.
That's it.
I think that's a very real concern.
And it's going to be fascinating on Saturday night when they return home to play against the Ottawa Senators, which will involve Brady Tkachuk, which, boy, I mean, everybody's crapping on us for being tough. Did you see him in his morning skate today? He did deposition.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, my God. He had 10 questions about it, like just back and forth with me. So,
well, apparently someone said close the northern border, and people thought it was him, and he's having to answer the question.
I'm sorry, who were we talking about?
Brady Tkachuk. Apparently on the Trump call, someone yelled, close
okay,
the
now I
northern
got you
border.
now.
Now, let me clarify. If they did, and very funny joke. They just played Canada. It's a funny joke.
Okay.
They beat their rivals, whatever. But Brady is in it. You know, they went on Fox News. They did the whole thing. I think, were I a Sens fan, I'd feel even worse. Your brothers.
Yeah.
Listen, the family vibe there.
I don't put Matthews and Brady in the same conversation. No. But I think that there's a world where we look back on this week when we're like, yeah, he's playing for Utah now. What a surprise.
Yeah. Utah.
Yeah. There's no question people are going to maybe look back on it for sure. But there's also that other element which has nothing to do with any of this and where the Leafs are and where he sees they are in 2 years and wanting to maybe go try to win somewhere else.
Do you want to have the big conversation here?
Sure. Well, what else are we doing?
I was watching that game last night, and I don't know how long ago it was that you said maybe they should consider blowing it up. We saw Pronger on the rival radio station talking about taking it down to the screws. Watching that decor last night, I'm like, boy, maybe this isn't an overnight fix. Mm-hmm. There are an incredible amount of holes on this hockey team. An incredible amount of holes. There just really are.
I think there is too many what ifs right now that they can talk themselves into before they do it. Because as you guys know, when you rebuild, when you tear it down to the studs, nothing's guaranteed. 2 years, not guaranteed. 3 years, not guaranteed. You need to make sure you need to do that. And so I think there's a lot of, what if next year Matthews finds his 100-point form and Matthew Nyes is better than the goaltending? What if? Tanev's healthy. What if? I think they have to make sure that there's not a chance that it can turn around before they can say that they need to do that. Because it's a big, you've said they can't do it even if they need to do it.
I just know that it doesn't appear like it's an option now to even think about multiple years that you're out of the playoffs.
Right. So that means
you might have to suck it up this year, but 2 in a row, heads roll.
So that means you're sitting here this year going, how do we get creative?
I'm watching OEL last night. He's the only one that showed up.
He was awesome.
Buddy.
Ripped it off the inside of the
Come
post.
on.
And
rushes up the
beat
ice.
a guy up for scoring. Like that guy scores and he's like, I'm going to beat you up.
How dare you?
Just love him. But he's 35.
You're right. If you're watching that game and considering trading for OEL, that was a real all right, there's still some life in that.
There is, but he's 35. I'm not sure if he can bring a first rounder or not.
I mean, he absolutely can.
So take the second. Take the second.
What does that help? I'd rather just have 2 years of OEL at 3.5. If you're talking about being good,
but it's to your point. Like, do you keep him and still miss the playoffs in the next year or two?
I'd rather have him and try to figure out the other holes than get rid of him, try to figure out how to replace him cheaper than 3.5. Who's better than him at 3.5 in the league? Can't be many.
I get it. I get it.
So I'm saying I'm fine with the
But
trade if you get a good
you
return.
have him now, and he's at the top of his game, and you're still missing the playoffs.
But there's no way he's not worth a first.
And I don't know if he can play like that next year.
Then get your first. So here's the next point that
that's-
I have written down.
You're right. Kipper, like, if this was any other team, if the Leafs were trying to trade for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, you'd be like, that's guys, you got to give up a first to get that guy. But then when he's a
you
Leaf,
give up first for Carlo, who's 28, not
Give up a first
35.
and a future Patrice Bergeron.
Well, you didn't know that at the time, though.
You knew he was an NHLer.
You didn't know.
You knew he was good. I think if you're trading Oliver Ekman-Larsson, it's because you're getting a first-round pick back, in my opinion.
If
So-
it's a second, you're disappointed?
I just wouldn't do it.
I think it's a second in a player, like a second in some sort of a prospect or whatever, but you have to get some sort of first-round value back.
So here's the next thing I have written down, which is if you're going to consider OEL, Carlo, Lawton, all those other names, it starts today. Like maybe you make a move today or tomorrow. You're not going to trade 4 guys on March 6th.
It's hard to say that, though, JB, because they're out there and they set prices and they're shaking off the prices. They're not paying. If you watched McMahon last night, would you give up a first rounder for him?
Was he stinky last night? I didn't notice him in any direction.
You just answered my question.
Yeah.
Right? So
I'm not making my decision on like a game out of a 3-week break.
He's a 20-goal scorer already this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Scored 20 goals. He's 28 and he makes $1 million.
He
First-round pick.
He is a third-line player on a contending team, Sammy.
Yeah, and
Okay?
teams give
He's
up.
a 20-goal scorer
What's Scott Laughton?
on one of the worst teams in the league right now.
Why are you trying to
Well,
make
yeah.
the case that these guys are not
just-
valuable assets? Who's better than
you're
him?
telling me
That's 29.
You're telling me to make trades right now, and I'm telling you there's no first rounder out there for McMahon. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, hey.
Right? And you're asking me why.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you why.
So by the deadline,
gotta wait.
you think that comes up?
I think it probably comes down. I don't see.
There's
I
no
don't
first,
see it.
and you think the offers are getting worse.
I think generally when more teams get involved, when they know that they're out and they push more chips into the trade table, prices come down, right? Supply and demand.
Well, that seems to be the final 5 hours of the deadline. Hey, we got to get something for our guys sort of thing. I've never got the impression that happens in the 5-6 days leading up to the deadline. In fact,
No, if you
the
want to
opposite.
overpay, you can get them now.
Yeah.
Right? To your point, if you want to overpay,
Yeah.
if you're desperate enough and you want to go for it, by all means, blow your brains out.
And so this is the,
But it's hard. No one's making trades right now of significance. They're
Leafs-
waiting.
Well, I mean,
Tyler Myers is sitting out for, right now. I think as
right
of
now, as
today.
right now, but like Sunday they'll start. Saturday they'll
Yeah, we're
start.
7.5 days.
After tonight.
Yeah.
After
Yes.
tonight, some teams will make decisions.
Right. Because you're here now. And so I guess my point is last year with the Toronto Maple Leafs, they wanted to make 2 big moves. They wanted to add a centerman and a defenseman. That was a
Right-hand
big
shot.
thing. We talked about it from November, and we talked about them trying to find it. And it didn't happen and didn't happen. And then contrary to our conversation here, it got to be crunch time, and people said, if you want them, the price is going up, up, up. And at the last minute, they said, blah, okay.
God, they bled hard.
And all of a sudden, it was a nightmare.
Nightmare.
Because you waited to the last minute. To me, it's like, listen, Bobby McMahon's getting traded. Edmonton, if you're interested, I'm making a decision by Wednesday. Hey, if you're interested, we're making a decision by Wednesday. We have to have some idea. You need to get out ahead of this stuff and not go, let's see what happens in the final minute.
That's not the way Brad works, though.
Ugh.
I acknowledge that.
And this is the next. This is the scary part.
And that's the pushes to the other conversation.
This is the crux of the crossroads of the convo, if you will. What are his motivations?
What is he allowed to do?
Exactly.
Do you think he has some limitations?
Who's in charge?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if the mandate from your ownership group or your CEO is, you can't strip this down where we're in 30th place next year.
Say the scary numbers you think his contract might be for an extension.
McMahon?
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing way too much McMahon extension talk. Drager talking about it. I see Pagnotta talking
Well,
about
it's
it.
because
Are they trying to drive up the price?
It's tough to replace him. It's not easy to replace a guy that can skate like that, Sam.
Well, you didn't notice him last night, so how big is it to?
I think his career arc is going to be.
I'm not saying he's crap, Sam.
Well,
I'm just saying that if you're a team, first round picks for forwards are legit top 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not a legit top 6 player. He's a guy that can play anywhere from 3 to 9 and be okay. And then sometimes he can fill in on a top line for a week, 10 days. But that is not a typical first round player you trade for.
So then if you want to give him an extension, let's pay him like a third line.
I think if you get to a number, like if he says, I don't care, $20 million.
Yeah.
You go, okay,
Find a way to
well,
give me
let's
20.
do it. And let's do it over 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't care. You're going to give me $10 million on a signing bonus or, right?
Okay.
I'll take it up front. I'll give you 6 years. If you hit my number, I'll retire on $20 million. I'm good to go. What does that work out to? 4-1?
That's a funny thing that you're kind of hearing people do. Like, I'm trying to get to a total contract value of, and I'm not particular about how we do it.
How old is he? 30? Does he envision himself playing till 35, 36?
Yeah, this summer he'll turn 30.
Anything after that is a bonus. If I keep playing, I play. If not, I know I got 20 large.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you get 20, you're talking
Sam,
about 5 years times $4
You
million.
okay with that? $20 million over
No,
6 years?
I'm not okay with
You
him.
just don't want him. You want an asset.
Yes.
Hold on. There's a number you want.
Yeah, sure. $850K.
No, he wants change. He does not want the same
But
people coming back.
well, I don't know if you've watched the local side this year, bud, but it hasn't exactly been a palatable product.
I like this slow
get it.
infusion of European football talk and
Well,
I get it.
local side.
but it's just
I get it.
you're going to sign Bobby McMahon for $5 million or however much it's going to cost to sign him.
4.
Sure. And you're going to come back next year and be like, now it'll be different when we have all the same guys. This didn't
Well, the whole
work
idea is not to change guys around him.
Yeah.
around him.
And Matthews and Nylander.
I'm just doing the math on what does Bobby McMahon at 35, 34, I guess, look like, you know?
He's really fast.
Very fast.
He's very fast.
Yeah, maybe he'll still be fast.
And if he wants to stay so badly, like, hey, Bobby, go enjoy your sabbatical and come back in the offseason. We'll get a pick for you and have fun in the playoffs with some other team.
Good radio show.
Yeah?
Let's go to break.
Oh, okay. Let's go to break.
Can we take a break?
Sure, bud.
I'm exhausted.
Want to talk about the White House some more?
No. No.
No?
No.
Any other current affairs you want to get into?
Moving
Mexico is
on.
pretty crazy right now. Anything else?
Stop it. Will you? Stop it.
All right, we're done.
Okay, what do we got? Mailbag?
Mailbag. I got a few other things I want to talk about too. But mailbag. We should talk about Stolars, talk about some other stuff.
All right.
From the hockey
Still,
game.
hey, we
And they
still
play
got,
tonight.
still got some meat on the bone on our Leaf Hour edition. All right. Sammy's mailbag, midweek Maple Leaf mailbag up next when we return. Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee.
Hey, before we move on, just wanted to remind everybody that it's Toronto Maple Leafs game day. Score a Popeyes chicken sandwich for only $6 in classic or spicy. Make it your new game day tradition. Get your $6 chicken sandwich at a Popeyes near you.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed the phase of the show where we got to cheer for them to do well, and I'd like to have that resumed.
The Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yes.
Popeyes?
Yeah, Popeyes too.
Oh, but you don't have
Great
to
chicken
you don't have to cheer for Popeyes.
Yeah,
They
they're
always
doing
do.
just fine. Yeah, but it's not fun when you have to do anything other than. I hope they have success. You just want to see them win.
It's over.
This
year.
They're going to try to win.
Listen, thank God we have you. I'm telling you right now. I mean, you can keep Sammy afloat. I can't.
You know what's funny is I was going to say this off the air, and you guys shut me down aggressively for saying it. Well, I almost said something before the show about the show.
Yeah, right.
I said tonight actually matters in that their internal perception of where they're at. We all agree that where they think they're at and where we think they're at are very different. Internally, if they beat Florida tonight, I think they'll still be like, let's see how we do Saturday.
We said 2 out of 3. I said 2 out of 3.
And if they win tonight, I think they'll go, let's see how Saturday goes.
We'll see.
I'm not saying I think this, Sam. I'm saying it matters for how they think of themselves.
I can't even entertain this.
Uh,
I think maybe we should see how they, after Saturday, after they play, we should check out how they look at morning skate on Sunday, maybe how they eat lunch, and then after that, we'll make a decision on the future of this game.
I like the
have
point
the
you're
Florida Panthers said anything about their lineup tonight? Sammy?
No, I haven't heard anything.
If there's strong indication that Brad Marchand will not play again this season.
Really? I mean, I thought that I had heard that maybe it was possibly a maybe thought that they were thinking of. You're thinking it's happening.
My understanding is if it wasn't for the Olympics, he probably would have had surgery 3 weeks ago.
I hate hearing that. Like, then if you're on the verge of having surgery, then why are you going?
Well, okay. Can you explain to me?
Is that not fair?
Sid Crosby. Sid Crosby said he was maybe 70% with playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes home and he shuts down for 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How can you be that close to playing and then being told you can't play for a month?
Well, I think there's a game that is of such huge importance that you're willing to risk further damage, the brace and needles, and let's just try to get through one. But it's not the right thing for your long-term knee. And then now it's like, okay, well, let's just let this thing heal. See how
It's just...
That's my guess. Don't you think? What do you?
I don't know.
Is there something more nefarious than that?
No, I'm saying that if Pittsburgh's now, they go and lose 3 or 4 in a row, do you rush him back now instead of 4 weeks? You bring him back for 2.5 weeks?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Because those games become awfully important.
For sure. Have you seen their schedule too? They've got a brutal schedule coming up this month.
But now we'll see. I mean, maybe Brad sucks it up some more and tries to play. I don't know. We'll see.
And those rabid hockey fans down there buying up all the tickets for the 2 conquering heroes, for their 2-time Stanley Cup champions and their gold medalists, get in the building for $40.
Now,
$40 tickets today.
What a rabid fan base.
Can we just also keep in mind when we're talking about the Florida Panthers is that they've got this pick that's dangling as well, just not the Leafs and the Boston Bruins over a Carlo
it's
pick.
Top 5 protected?
No, it's top 10.
Oh, that's smart.
It's top 10 protected. From the Spencer Knight, right?
Yes. Does Florida want that pick, or do they happily give it away?
No, they'll take a top 10 pick. That'll work out just fine.
I think they would.
Get yourself into that range where you could Islanders it up.
Well, I can't bring Barkov back.
What's that?
Can't bring Barkov back then.
Right. You're trying to get down there.
Right.
I mean, where are they league wide here? They're not
all right,
too
Sammy,
far off.
dig into your mailbag.
So we kind of alluded to this in the first block, but let's do it again because it's all anybody cares about anyway right now is trades. What's your most optimistic asset return in terms of pick value for this offseason? I.e. OEL being a first and a B prospect, McMahon 2 seconds to a first. My sense is that, sorry, I got my chicken alarm going off here. My sense is that they sell properly hard. OEL, McMahon, Carlo Lawton, They can get 4 firsts of value total. Your thoughts?
I've been talking with Nick Kypreos, and I don't think that's happening.
Second and thirds, and if they can do conditionals to first, then good on them. If they can turn OEL into a second, and maybe if they go to a conference final, they get a first, that's a big return.
I can just tell you that, following the Islanders the way I do, the decision on Dobson to move on from him and get 2 firsts, I know that they don't have Dobson to trade in Toronto, but immediately the fan base was energized. Like, I think a hard sell here of like the 4 or 5 guys we're talking about, sell them all. I think people would be pretty excited to suddenly have a first, 3 seconds. Like all of a sudden it's like, okay, there's some assets. We'll pick once or twice. We'll trade a couple of them.
God forbid a young, fast player.
Right.
A guy that's got some promise.
That'd be nice. That would energize people.
This is from Ethan. This is a hard hitter, boys. How big of a disconnect do you think there is behind closed doors in terms of Tree and Berube? MLSE eliminated the president position so they could work closer together. And you see Cowan is rotting away for a month despite Tree saying they want him to be active.
I don't think there's any disconnect between those two. Do you, Ken?
I don't have any facts towards that. I've not necessarily heard definitively that they don't get along. But I will say this, that I had heard that the influence that Craig Berube had towards roster players, his overall perception of the team was as strong as any coach in the league. So when you eliminate a Brendan Shanahan, you also put more power into Brad and Chief. So if you also want to tell me that a team went from winning the Atlantic Division to where they are now, and they haven't had a few disagreements, right? Think about that.
Sure.
Right?
It's not going good.
They must have butt heads on a few things over the course of this year where they are now.
Yeah. You know who are not always good GMs or coaches? Like Barry Trotz had a tough time making the transition when he went to Nashville. Players aren't great. You saw LeBron James over his career try to play GM. Doesn't always go great. I think it's a tough spot to be a coach and telling a GM what you think should happen. And I think those things should stay very separate.
What else you got for us in your little mailbag?
I got to tell you a quick story. I remember being when I was with the Leafs coaching staff when I worked for the Marlies. Often we would be with their coaching staff in the same building. And one day Lamoriello walks by, and I think it was DJ Smith. Someone, Lamoriello's walking by. Hey, Lou, come in here. He goes, you gotta bring me Roman Polak. Get me Roman Polak. He had been here the year before or something like that, and they got rid of him. He's like, I gotta have someone who kills a penalty. Bring me Roman Polak. And say, oh yeah. Like when you're a coach and you have desires and you have wants, like that guy
couldn't wait to get rid of him.
Polak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying. Coaches don't really have the big picture in mind. What's good? He was in charge of the PK. He wanted this guy who PK'd.
I like Polak.
I mean, listen, he did too.
He ruthlessly broke his leg.
Just for the record, on your coaching, like you had a clip, Kipper's clipper on the video team. I'm not going to that.
No?
No.
Okay.
I think they're 22-0 this year.
They've won 20 straight.
If we're down to now giving credit to like video coaches based on what we saw on the ice, we might as well all just pack it in and go home.
Jordan Beed and Sam Kidd, great job. You guys are killing it.
Great job.
Hey, no one's doing a better job than them.
The hilarious.
Nobody.
The hilarious.
But you're doing your job
perfectly. Lots of people doing their job imperfectly.
So we're doing our jobs every day. Anybody
Not that
giving
great.
us? Anybody doing a clip on us?
No one's ever put me in perfect in the same sentence.
No one's ever looked at me and said, you're 20-0.
Listen, it's not that hard. You got a video. Come on.
No.
Come on. Really?
You're sitting there doing
Two
this
guys. Rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind, play.
You got 9 seconds to make it, or Craig Berube's mad at you.
The thoughts of Nick Kypreos do not reflect Justin Bourne and Sam McKee.
Let's give the guys credit for doing their job.
A good video coach should make $1 million a year.
You're not blind.
If you're going to save your
you
team
get to
a
see
point
it
or
10
two in the
times.
standings, it's worth $1 million.
Of course, you should get them all right.
The reason the clip was so funny is because Rube was like, well, I saw him too.
I'm not giving it credit to those guys.
He's like, they do a good job.
See,
I
he
saw him
gets
too.
it.
He's like, I
Play
saw
the
the
clip.
clip. No, we're not playing it. We're not playing it.
Oh, God.
This one's from
Video
Leafs.
Coaches Unite.
This one's from Leafs.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were a video coach, too, weren't
I didn't
you?
do that, though.
Okay, good.
You could have been doing that one. I know you. This is from Leafs Ride Along. I know you're gung ho to sell McMahon OEL, and that you, Sammy, in parentheses, point to Boston as an example of a good pivot. But they didn't sell guys having a great year. Who is the equivalent of Marchand, Coyle, Frederick, Carlo on the Leafs? Riley, Domi, Waugh, Lawton, Carlo, Joshua. Like, what's the equivalent? Because they did trade Marchand, Coyle, Frederick, Carlo. And those are guys that...
Well, what'd they get from Marchand? Like a second?
Second?
Yeah, but he
Would only go to Florida.
picked.
Yeah, I understand
Florida, right?
why. I'm just saying
What did
it's
the-
not
what
like they
did-
got a huge
He would have been a first.
asset haul.
What did Edmonton get
Anywhere
for...
else.
What did Edmonton get for... Sorry, what did they get for Frederick from Edmonton? Can't remember.
I don't know. It had to have been a first, right? Considering
Oh,
they gave him an
my
8-year
gosh.
Deal.
Don't tell me that.
Trent Frederick trade. It was a 3-team deal. Oh boy, I'm not getting the answers as quick as you guys need them.
Yeah. It says Peter Hauser. I don't know. Peter Hauser and Shane LaChance. The way the hockey DB has this laid out. I don't know. Anyway.
But that signing was, for Edmonton, a disaster.
He has the type of stats that you can put together in a good game. He has 55 games played, but he's got 2 goals, 1 assist. Like, did Cooch have that last night? I don't know. I think he had 1 and 2 maybe. But I feel for Frederick because a lot of people at the time, and I, myself included, really liked Trent Frederick. I didn't like an 8-year deal, but I liked Frederick.
8-year deal. Who else was offering him 8 years?
Who was
the
offering him 5?
The Bruins ultimately got in that trade a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick and Max Wanner.
So a prospect, a 2nd, and a 4th.
Yeah.
It's not nothing.
It's okay.
I'd take that for Bobby.
It's okay. But he was considered a top 9 guy.
And then they got Minton and a 1st for Carlo. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know who else. They did
Coyle. They traded Coyle to the
Columbus?
Yeah, maybe you're right. So
Columbus, he's actually he's having a great year.
but I just really hope that they do a huge sell. Like trade 5
Like
guys.
I said, I think it's the best way to get the fan base reinvigorated. And even to take your team and be like, look, we had to do something.
Shake it up.
Yeah.
Like, is there any way that, I mean, he mentioned Domi in there. It doesn't feel like there's any way
I
that-
guess the next question is, who do you like out there? Who do you want for the Leafs? Who makes them better? Who might be available? I think there's a world where you could trade for someone who has term if you're serious about
Give me
trying
a
to play
name.
hockey.
Give me a
I
name.
don't know.
Well, like Kyru. I don't know. Is he Easton Cowan and 2028 first? I don't know.
I thought we were like no chance Cowan's going anywhere.
Well, I mean, it depends. There's a chance Gretzky got traded. There's
So you're
Quinn
more
Hughes
open
got
up
traded.
for moving Cowan this
I'm not
week?
trying to trade Cowan. I'm saying it depends what you can get back.
Okay, Kyru for Cowan in a 1st-round pick in 28.
Sure.
You're doing it?
No shot.
No shot.
Are you
no
nuts?
shot for me.
No?
Are you
No.
nuts?
No.
Okay. I'm just saying there
And
might
Coyle
be
went to
guys-
Colorado by the
No.
way, for Middlestat.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying.
like there's a world where guys who have term might still be appealing to the Leafs.
Kyru and Brube isn't the best mix.
No, Kyru's not. I understand. Well, you guys are mad at me.
I'm very
No, we're not mad at you, but
I am.
like,
livid.
I think that just really gives them a chance to bury this team for a very long time.
Totally. And I actually think there's a chance that very quickly Easton Cowan could be like a lot of these guys. Like, is he going to be much worse than Kyru next year? I don't know.
Put him in the top 6 for the rest of the year. Just
Yeah,
Can we just play him for
play
Yes.
the
20 games?
play the hell out of him.
Last 20 games.
call up
First
all the
power play unit.
call up Alex Nylander, call up Bo Gruel, call
Quillen
up all
ripped one. How about this
Doug
Luke Hames?
Quillen,
Luke Hames had a
Hames.
hattie the other night.
call
for
them
the
all
Marlies.
up.
They had high hopes for this Hames, and I'm
Marley's bottom 6, Leafs top
looking
6.
for someone.
Let's go. Get the race car driver Villeneuve on the back end. Away we go.
Okay, Luke Hames. We got 22 years old, 6'1", 203 pounds. He's got a dozen goals now for the Marlies. He's coming.
Okay.
He's coming along.
Kicking down the door.
Kicking down the door.
Oh, Leafs are so screwed.
Give me a score tonight.
Who cares?
Come on, Sammy.
Hopefully an L.
Can the Leafs get 5?
4-0 Leafs.
Hopefully an L.
Pitching a shutout.
Leafs.
Okay, we didn't really talk about Stolars, but like, is it 10 or 12 nothing?
He was actually awesome, I thought.
Very good in a sizable loss where he did get 2 taken off the board to help him out.
He's really good goalie when he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he plays is such a key part of that.
But I thought
How many saves he make last night?
I thought stretches of that game last night reminded me of the way he looked last season.
Yeah.
In the last game before the break, which everybody remembers so well, he was really good against the Oil. But I thought he made a ton of great saves last night. He went back to his old helmet, which I find interesting. He changed at the start of the year, and then went back to the old shiny bucket. He looks a little better in there, but I don't know. Maybe they could trade him too.
7 goals in the last 8 games for Luke Hames, by the way. Just had that brought to my attention. He is kicking down the door.
Hamer.
Hamesy.
Call up the Hamer.
Bring in the Haminator.
All right, boys.
Hamer in the door down.
We're terrible.
Sammy, what do we got going national?
Little Renaud Lavoie action and some old friend Aaron Ward we haven't talked about.
Aaron Wardo.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's a lot of fun. And Renaud will give us all the scoop we need as we get ever so closer to the trade deadline. Next Friday.
Yes, sir.
3 p.m. Can't wait.
We will be here, presumably.
All right.
I think.
Don't go away. Back after these words. Time to go national on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Live on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where we appreciate the thumbs up. The chats, where you agree mostly with everything I say, not so much JB or Sammy.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
In a few minutes, Renaud Lavoie, who always does a great job on our show, will get us up to speed on the things he's hearing around the National Hockey League as we get ever so closer to the trade deadline.
Habs back underway tonight.
Dobson returns to Montreal.
Also, in about 35 minutes, Aaron Ward, Stanley Cup champion with Carolina. The team that seems this time of year always in the mix.
Can we do our in between break on air?
I forget what we did, but yes.
Kyper, as I was walking to change the jersey, and yes, I remembered chat. There was a vote on there if I would remember or not. And 23% of them said yes, so thank you to that faith. Kyper looked at me and said, Sammy, did the White House put out a TikTok about Brady Kachuk? And I looked at him and I said, I don't know.
What year is
world
it?
are we living in, man?
Mad Libs
Buddy,
sentence.
listen, just look at me and say, shut up. Okay, next time.
If they did,
and
are
I'll
we going to
just-
talk
I'll
about it?
slap myself. I'll just slap myself in the face and go, what was I thinking?
It's just impossible. Like the deluge of media commentary. It's like, you know, it is like trying to sort of, did Ryan Whitney tweet that Mike Commodore said that? It's like, what?
I can't keep
I don't
track.
know. I know. I don't know.
You know what would have been the easiest outcome to all of this? Nathan McKinnon shooting it in the net.
Just shoot it in, Nate.
Just shoot that puck in there. Just take the stick, put the puck on your stick, and shoot it in the net, man. You've done it 100 million times in your life. Just shoot that thing in there, buddy.
I do kind of believe
Ribbit.
in like the multiverse. I kind of this quantum physics stuff, and like there's a lot of universes where he just shot it in, and that's just it's
The great universe. We're just all
It's different now. We're down the road.
Kumbaya, my friends. Just
Now we're
loving life.
Now we're just rubberneckers.
Fighting for
on
our
the highway.
lives in here.
Fiery hellscape.
So true.
Now we're just looking on the highway and slowing down, going,
You see who's fighting with who?
is anyone alive?
it's a
And now it's a fiery hellscape.
Oh,
it's a
my
dystopian
God.
future of
Quick thoughts on the Western Conference and watching Edmonton have a couple of 2-goal leads only to lose to Anaheim. LA doesn't take advantage of it as they lose to Vegas, but all of a sudden
and Vegas' AHL team too.
things are getting like if I asked you guys off the top of your head, okay, 32 teams in the league, what place is the Edmonton Oilers in overall?
I actually probably outside playoffs, 18th.
Below the middle.
I think if we did winning percentages,
Yeah.
it's probably 20th,
Good
21st.
news. I'm able to do such things.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you think about the Edmonton Oilers have Connor McDavid on it. He's closing in on 100 points, and they're in what place?
They're in 17th, and by points percentage worse than that.
Worse than that.
Yeah.
They have
20th.
one more win than the Leafs we watched last night.
Listen,
It's crazy.
I've seen Oilers people tweeting, "This ain't the year," like about the deadline. Like, don't pay to acquire Bobby McMahon.
You know who's going to tell us if it isn't the year or not? Renaud Lavoie.
Yeah,
Let's bring him in. TVA's very own. How are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me. It's always fun to be with you guys.
We were just talking about the Edmonton Oilers and a tough loss and perhaps whether or not what's that?
It's a tough one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That
okay.
was brutal.
Yes.
Brutal.
All right. I thought we lost you there for a second,
I thought
but
a trade happened.
yeah, I thought maybe a trade came in. You were going to spring on us.
I was just going back in my memory, watching the highlights this morning. I couldn't believe it.
So
to be honest.
where are they in terms of still improving their roster between now and next Friday, Renaud? And we heard a very animated Knobloch on his goalie last night, and we'll discuss this a little later. But is there a thought that they could revisit that situation, or is that off the table now and they're moving in different directions?
This is just unbelievable. I mean, we're still talking about the same thing here. And that's the problem when, at the same time, you're trading Brett Kulak. Not that Brett Kulak is a savior, but he's able to stabilize, what's going on the ice. And Brett Kulak was with the team for the last 2 Stanley Cup run. Why would you trade guys that are helping you defensively and making sure that, night after night, someone will do the tough work and the tough job on the ice. And Brett was that type of person. And I understand they had to make that move for salary cap purpose. But at the end of the day, was it the right move? It's easy to say today and play Monday morning quarterback and say it wasn't. But at the same time, we're in the same boat here. We're again talking about goaltending. I think the biggest issue is not goaltending, but probably the way this team is playing defensively. And I mean, am I surprised right now with this team not being able to, win games? No, not at all. But the problem with the Oilers is, and it better maybe than anyone, is when they're hot, and they can go on a streak and win 10 games in a row, and suddenly they're the best team in Canada. So you never know what's going to happen with them. But yes, that trade, I believe, was a mistake. I remember I was in Pittsburgh actually when it happened. And I was really, really happy, to see the return that the Penguins got. And, I know Tristan Jarry was playing well for them, but Tristan Jarry was in the AHL last year. And I believe that, they sometimes you need to be a little more patient. They weren't patient, and now they're paying the price again. So they lost 2 really good players on offer sheets, and you're still paying the price. I mean, it's. I wouldn't be happy to be an Oilers fan today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they're at a frustrating crossroads, and curious to see if they address it head on at the deadline, or if they just kind of cross their fingers and hope they figure it out.
Well, who's available? That's the other question.
In terms of goaltending?
Yeah, really.
The Stolars help you?
Bennington? Why didn't they wait for Bennington? Why didn't they have Connor go to Italy and recruit him and then bring him in? Why didn't they wait?
I'm a Jordan Bennington fan because he's got a great pedigree. But listen, the way, and by the way, which is crazy, the Blues are playing way better defensively than the Oilers, okay? They have a better system in St. Louis than the Oilers. They can't score. And Jordan Bennington is not the best goalie in the league, all right? If you bring him right now in Edmonton, I don't see any changes. I think that you can call maybe the Sharks and say, do you think Carey Price can be back? Can Carey play? Okay, maybe if you have a Carey Price type of goalie, yes, there's you can maybe put a plaster on a lot of issues that you have defensively. But I don't see any goalie right now available that can be better than, maybe a little better than Tristan Jarry. But really, is it going to change anything? I don't believe so.
Dead last in the NHL in save percentage, 88.55%.
That's the reality.
Yeah, it's the Edmonton Oilers this year. Okay. Montreal Canadiens have had goaltending struggles off and on this year. Yeah. Curious to see where there's that. So Kip was saying the other day to us, is there any chance that Canada has to really worry about Canadian teams in the playoffs? 2 teams are going to make it, Edmonton and Montreal. And Edmonton's, where are we at with Montreal? How confident are we in where they sit?
This is a special group, guys, okay? And I understand about goaltending. Yes, there's still some question mark. Sam Montembeault will be the goalie tonight. Jacob Dobesch against, one of the toughest teams to beat for the Montreal Canadiens, Washington, on Saturday will be the goalie, which is interesting. A Saturday night in Montreal, you're putting, a rookie goalie in net. It's when you think about it, it's unique. So You see that management is going in that direction right now. It's his net to lose, I guess. So we'll see how things are going to evolve. But this is a special team. This is a team that is, you look at Marty St. Louis, what he's doing. I mean, I was with them last week, this week at practices, watching what he was doing. You think it was, if you think 1 minute that the guys were not, working really, really hard on the ice, you're wrong. And the main reason why is because of their coach. He's demanding. He's not demanding and a type of coach who's going to be in your face. And no, he's not that type of person. But he's asking for execution. He's asking for this team to be better when they're not only the system, but it's more the details inside the system, right? That's important for Marty St. Louis. He said to us, we were winning before the break, but our details were it was not trending in the right direction. Okay. And he said, we need to correct that because we're going to pay the price if we don't. So I believe that tonight against the Islanders, we'll see a team that's going to be way better defensively. And it's going to be interesting to see, what's next for them. Because if I just take a step back, I see Tampa's. I mean, what Kucherov is doing in Tampa right now is amazing. For me, he's the MVP right now in the league because with all the injuries and they were still winning. One of the biggest reasons why is because of them. Montreal, it's a different. Obviously, they're way younger. So for me, Tampa is really dangerous in the East. But honestly, if you're asking me who's the second, I'll put the Panthers, but are they going to make it? I don't think so. I think Montreal is top three. Like when you look at, how dangerous this team will be in the playoffs. I mean, in the East. So we'll see. Everyone is healthy now. That's a positive. Alex Newhook's going to play tonight. That's a real positive because you can, and management can decide after that, do we really need help? Do we need more sandpaper at the blue line? Or when we're looking at the forwards, do we need more skills? But at least they'll have a good 3 games to decide exactly what they wanted to do.
You're watching and listening to Renaud Lavoie, who does a terrific job as a hockey insider for TVA Sports. Renaud, in terms of now, let's just stay in the East with Montreal and a team like Detroit. They're stocked. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know another team that I mean, there's a few. Utah for sure is out there too, but Detroit, and it feels like Steve Yzerman's out there ready to pounce. A lot of talk about Myers in Vancouver sitting out. Are you hearing about Detroit and Myers, or in general the demand on right-handed D? I've got Justin Falk. I got Connor Murphy out there. We've got a few, don't we?
Rasmus Ristolainen, don't forget him, right? And yes, Detroit needs to be out there. Remember what Dylan Larkin said at the end of last season, right? We didn't got out. Like we were battling for a playoff spot, but like our GM didn't trade for anyone, and it was a shock to Steve Yzerman. I think that Steve Yzerman responded really, really well, saying, well, you know what, there's another team that didn't do anything and went to the playoff, and it was the Montreal Canadiens. But yes, they're out there. And I believe a player like Rasmus Ristolainen is available. And I believe that there's a lot of teams, probably Detroit too, around. One of the reasons why is for the Flyers, when they it's not because they don't like the player, obviously, but what are you going to receive in return is quite amazing. Look at the Brendan Carlo trade, guys. I mean, this is an amazing trade for the Boston Bruins. When a year after you look at it and you're
going to make Sammy cry right now.
I know. And I'm sorry, Sammy, but I mean, and this is how Danny Briere is looking at a possible Ristolainen trade. He believes and that the return could be really, really interesting. And what do? You're 6-8 points behind. You don't win the games that you're supposed to, like last night. As much as you want to help your team, as a GM, I believe that you need to be really careful. And when someone is offering you a gift, like the Maple Leafs offered a gift to the Boston Bruins last year, sorry to say, I mean, you have to take it. No, you can't.
Oui,
You
oui.
can't. You have to take it. You have to say thank you very much. We're not making it this year, and look at the Boston Bruins right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that, when you were looking at right-handed shot D's in the league, I mean, for a lot of GMs, they are gold. And you look at the gold price right now; it's a little bit the same thing with the D's that are shooting the right D's. So I'm not surprised, and yes, I believe that the Red Wings are going to be involved and they're going to be aggressive, rightly so.
Ren, I did want to get your thoughts, just to take it back to the Olympics and the Montreal Canadiens, on how the Canadiens players did there, what you thought of their performance, where they're at in their careers. Obviously, Slavkovsky this guy's taken a step a while ago, but really announces himself in those events, doesn't he?
It's crazy, and it's fun to watch because he's only 21. Can you believe it?
Nuts.
I know, and I think he took the world by surprise in a way. Not because we didn't know how good he was, but when you're on another stage and at another level, and you're looking at him play and the way he was playing, everyone that saw him they were really impressed, especially with the first 3 games that he played. After that, in the playoffs, it was a little different for him, obviously, because there was probably a couple, 2, 3 guys that you need to focus on this team, and obviously there was no room for him on the ice. But everyone was really happy here with the Montreal Canadiens to see what he did. A lot of people that I talked to over the last few hours, last few days, would have liked to see Nick Suzuki probably play a little more, especially in the last game against USA. But otherwise, everyone is really, really happy, and rightly so. Oliver Kapanen played in the bronze medal game for Finland. So, yeah, I think it's a great experience, and it's going to make, I believe, a player like Nick Suzuki and Kapanen and Slavkovsky, they're going to be better players. And this is not their last. What the beauty of it is, it's not the last time that we're going to see them at the Olympics. They're still really, really young, so it's going to be a blast in 4 years, I believe, in France, because the level of competition, I believe, will be even higher than it was in Milan.
Renaud, just in terms of demanding positions at this trade deadline, we just talked about right-handed shots, center ice, and if we stick with Montreal, where are they? We know there's a feel, anyways, that Pettersson could be had, O'Reilly in Nashville, Kadri in Calgary, Trocheck is out there. Where is Montreal on the need, short and long term, to play behind Suzuki?
Well, you know what? Probably if you would ask me that question in let's say in September, I would have said that's priority number 1. Okay. Now, today, I have a different I see it differently, and probably the team is seeing it differently because of what Oliver Kapanen did, because they were able to get Phil Deneau, which really, really helps too. I know Phil is not a goal scorer, he's not a second line player right now, but he's going to help Oliver Kapanen a lot. They're sitting besides each other at in the dressing room, so they're talking a lot, and I feel like Phil is really helping him. I think Kyper, it's a little more. You need to look more for wingers. Maybe a month ago, I imagined myself that they were looking for a top 6, probably right winger. Today, again, I'm not sure. Kirby Dach is playing well there. Alex Newhook is going to probably get a shot too at one point on the first line. I feel like they're probably looking more for sandpaper type of player. Is it a a defenseman? Is it a forward? We'll see. I really believe that they're going to evaluate what's next, starting tonight. Tonight, it's a big game. The players are pumped, and they want this game to be a big one. So it's going to be, I think, easy for management to evaluate a game like tonight, a game like Saturday. Again, the Capitals in town. That's going to be a playoff game. Okay, so and after that, I believe it's going to be a time for management to make final decision. Are we making trades or not?
All right, buddy. Really appreciate it. It's going to be a busy week. We're happy to lean on you, my friend.
Trade deadline.
Well, I'm always happy to be with you guys, and I hope you're going to have a good weekend starting tomorrow and Saturday.
You too, Ren. Thanks so much, man.
Renaud Lavoie.
Take care.
TVA Sports.
I agree with him on the sandpaper for the Habs. There's a bunch of
little
small,
something.
young guys.
I mean,
And Kadri.
has your perception of who you thought maybe 3 months ago at Christmas, who were the contenders, the heavy contenders, and then there's that secondary wave, right? Like
Montreal's in that.
Montreal's in that secondary wave, and it's like how hard are you going to push?
Who's in the
this
top
week?
wave?
Tampa, Carolina.
Yeah.
Dallas?
Oh, no, I meant in the East.
No, I'm just talking about everybody in general
so
going
that's
now, right?
Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota.
Yeah.
We got Minnesota there as a forefront?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
Vegas, Edmonton, I'm not sure what's happening.
They're in the
I think
same
they should
tier
both
as-
be better.
Same tier as Montreal. And
Yeah, aren't
I
they
think,
above Montreal?
but Vegas will not treat this deadline like Montreal would. They're all in, man. They got to go. They're all in. They're
how are they all in every year?
they just are.
Pretty remarkable.
They just
Shout out to those guys for doing
are.
a great job.
Yeah, they really have.
I say this all the time. The one thing they do well that other people don't is instead of saying, how do we get rid of this guy on our team, they say, how do we get that guy on their team? It's about who they're getting, not who they're getting rid of.
Did you guys play the Knobloch thing with?
We didn't play yet.
no. We were gonna maybe. You want to save that for after the break?
We got
No,
Wardo
actually
after the break.
What's that?
We got Wardo after the break.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
we
no.
still gotta do game time
So
before we
listen,
get in.
we
We gotta get it
we
in.
talked about the Oilers, and
You called him very animated.
well, animated for him,
Right.
Right.
And there's no doubt you're right.
So this is head coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, you want to play Jari's thoughts first?
Okay, on goaltending because it's a
He gave
very
up 5.
sensitive topic when it comes to the loss last night against Anaheim. Let's listen to their starter last night, Tristan Jarry.
Tristan, what did you see as the difference tonight?
I think if I can maybe find one of those two screens, or maybe I'm able to handle a rebound here or there, maybe the puck doesn't go in the middle, and I'm able to handle that a little bit better.
Sam doesn't feel confident in the answers, I think.
Well, he's trying to hold himself accountable, and that's probably the best thing that you can do.
You see the Beckett-Seneke one where he just shot it on the ice through his legs?
Oh yeah, we saw them all.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
that one's a
Yeah, so he's talking about this one, controlling the rebound. That's
Yeah.
tough. It's up around his ears, maybe.
that was a
Yeah.
cookie.
To me, it's the one on the rush, which I assume
It's
we'll show
probably-
you. This
yeah.
one through, that one he's allowed to stop. This one here, where it's,
Okay,
all right.
so
All right.
we've established it wasn't a very good night for him,
Uh-huh.
which prompted head coach Knobloch to be pretty crystal clear on his thoughts last night on his goaltender. Let's have a listen.
Yeah, obviously I wasn't happy with the goaltending, the goals that we gave up, especially in the third period. I didn't like those, and definitely there was other mistakes there, but part of it is you need better goaltending, and tonight wasn't one of his best games.
Yeah, it's so funny, like you can tell he's a smart guy and trying not to whatever, but that's the answer. The answer is we didn't get
I
enough
know,
saves.
but that's
At some point, you need your goaltender to.
Every fired coach.
That's no question. That's a finger right at him.
Yeah.
Something that I think Oiler fans or some people in the media around the Oilers would suggest he has not done enough of. He hasn't been in it.
Knobloch hasn't done it.
No, he hasn't. He should be more clear to these guys that he's been probably described a little bit around him as soft.
I think it takes time to get confident as an NHL coach.
I think it took Paul Coffey to come back into town and be more like that guy we heard last night.
Think so?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Cough was in his ear after the game.
Well, no, I don't know if Cough was in his ear, but
Boy, Chris, you got to be way meaner.
Paul, no, I don't think it's meaner, but you can't sugarcoat these things. You can't beat around the bush. You just got to be straight up. So I have no doubt that the things that he said last night in the media, I'm sure Knobloch was smart enough to say it to his face first or talk about it
Jarry
after.
said it to his own face.
But like that's last night. I heard a little bit of the Paul Coffey influence on Knobloch on his goaltending.
Well, I also think it's interesting that it's 7.5 days before the trade deadline, and Jarry, since he's been at Edmonton, it hasn't gone well. Is Connor Ingram going to lead them to a cup? Let's remember what the standard is for the Edmonton Oilers this year. It's not making the playoffs. They've been to Game 7 and Game 6 of the Cup final. Captain signed a 2-year deal. They are trying to win the Stanley Cup. If there's ever a time to be aggressive and a team, I mean, would you pull shoot on Jarry already?
I don't think the management can do that to themselves.
Say we made a mistake. We didn't get the right guy.
It's tough. It's tough to admit you made a mistake.
It's the Bieber song. Too late to say sorry.
What's I'm just quickly pulling up numbers. So
I think they got to stick with Jarry. I would never
games.
have gone to Jarry. I would never have gone there. I would have waited. And I told you, the play for me was after the Olympics when Connor and Binnington could have hung out for a little bit. And I don't know, maybe Renaud's right, and it would have been more of the same from St. Louis. But what I wanted more than anything was that guy's attitude, man. That guy comes in with a strut. I think that's desperately needed in Edmonton. Binnington.
Don't disagree.
First impressions matter, and it's hard. I mean, Valley's come on the show how many times and talked about how hard of an environment it is to play in Edmonton. But your numbers in your first 12 starts with the Oilers can't be 385, 864.
No.
Like you just I don't know how any fan or any player or like when every puck, I mean, that's just so many pucks entering the net.
Big loss last night. Like the Ducks are chasing, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
like
last night
Darnell was on, I think, for five even strength goals last night.
I'd
like,
say his name is coming up a lot with Oilers fans. The Ducks are ahead of them by a point after last night with 2 games in hand.
And again, if they fall into that position where they're staring on a switch for a playoff round, and they gotta go through Colorado, or is it would it be Minnesota? Who would they face potentially in the first round as a wild card?
Second wild card?
Second wild card would get you probably Vegas, right? Because Colorado's going to get the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you finish in the second wild card spot, then you're getting Colorado.
Followed by Dallas or Minnesota.
Right. And I'm looking at these teams that are chasing the Oilers. Like the Kings are 4 points back with 2 games in hand. Predators are 5 points back with 2 games in hand.
Kyper, maybe you're onto something here. Be the first person that mentioned it. That's for sure.
0?
Yeah.
L4.
Please tell me.
Oilers.
I got more.
Okay.
I got more
win
belief.
tonight. Again,
They got to win tonight.
they're in LA, right?
Must win.
Oh, that is a big
Come on.
match.
Certified must win game. All right. It's game time. Turn my mic off that. It's game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app's latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. 12 games on tap tonight, boys, including the big one that you mentioned there. The Edmonton Oilers in LA, 10:30 puck drop, late one. Minus 110 on both sides of the money line. Even money on both sides. Think it's going to be a close one.
Aaron's debut.
Pardon? No, Panarin played last night.
Played last
Two helpers. He was buzzing last night. So yeah, the Edmonton Oilers in LA to take on the Kings. Leafs in Florida on the second half of a back-to-back. Big underdogs again, boys. Plus 135 on the money line. Florida Panthers minus 160 on the money line. You could make a bet on that and pay to get into the building. You don't have to win very much because it's only $40 to get in the building for the Stanley Cup champions playing against the Leafs. The New Jersey Devils in Pittsburgh taking on the Penguins. Penguins without Sid are minus 160 favorites. And the last one I'll bring up, Montreal Canadiens hosting the New York Islanders. Big one for both teams. The return of Noah Dobson, playing against his former team, not the return. Minus 150, the Montreal Canadiens, big phase. The New York Islanders, plus 125 on the money line. Now, as game time presented by Bet365, visit the app for latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
So are the Devils going to have a big sell-off? What are they going to do, Kip? They're struggling, man. They've had a tough stretch. This year, everything that could go wrong has.
I don't know if you're Tom Fitzgerald to hang in there.
Hang in there.
I don't know. I mean,
minus 30 goal differential, second last.
I got to think his job's on the line.
I got to believe they're thinking top pick at this point, right? They're 7 spots from the bottom now.
Should we go?
Might as well just do it. Yeah, we should go.
Okay. Let's take a quick break. When we return, Aaron Ward. We haven't had Wardo on for quite a while.
Old buddy.
Stanley Cup champion. Up when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Let's welcome in 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Aaron Ward. Man, it's been a while.
Whoa.
How are you?
I just saw myself in full view.
Buddy, what's going on? Like you got Kenny Rogers rotisserie chicken stand in front of you?
Kramer's got the sign outside his room.
I'm in a midlife crisis stage right now. I'm growing out a mustache.
I like it.
Hey, thanks for coming back. Like we haven't talked to you in a while. How you been?
I'm good. I'm slowly recovering from the Olympics. I was in a local establishment. I was one Canadian with a Canadian jersey on amongst 70 Americans who cheered for the first goal when they scored against us. And I say us as Canadians. When we scored the equalizer in true Canadian fashion, I jumped up, I said yes really loud, clapped once, and then apologized to the entire bar in true Canadian fashion.
Way to
So
represent.
there's actually footage. Someone has footage of me jumping up and then like completely sheepishly like, I'm sorry. So
We're sworn off the craziness, but still lots of fun, right? One game, winner take all. Stakes
listen,
so high.
if the National Hockey League does not capitalize on the momentum we have going, I mean, here's the truth. We come in, we have this social media craze where, we have a whole gender now paying attention because of this craze about the boy aquarium. And I have a teenage daughter who informed me about it. We have shows about hockey, touching all aspects of life in the world. And now we have a platform given to us to the Olympics that between you and I didn't watch another sport. I only watched hockey, and I was so involved in watching it. I shut down my phone. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I watched hockey nonstop. And then we get the game. And the fact that we had that good a game, even though it did not go in our favor, the league is being handed an opportunity to blow this game up with all the demographics in the world. We should be in a good place.
Well said. It was a lot of fun. Now we come back to NHL action. Last night, we were all thrilled to get back to watching some Maple Leafs hockey, and within 9 minutes, it was like, oh, right, this is not as fun. However, it's still fun. It's still the NHL, and I still very much enjoy doing it. Carolina Hurricanes still have that pace, still have that sort of elite aspect to them. I'm sure you're looking forward to their sort of push here. Where are they at as they head towards the trade deadline and the playoffs?
Well, they better watch what happened last night with Toronto and Tampa, because Tampa right now is head and shoulders above everybody in the East. It's still Vasilevsky looks like the Vasilevsky of old. Tampa looks like the moment they get in the offensive zone, they're just dictating play. The fact that they're making the plays that they are behind the back, they have a level of confidence in their play that it's tough to defend. So now Carolina clearly second in their division. Am I sold on them right now? I feel like they're coming into this playing well. But are they playing well enough? I don't think so currently. You got a top-heavy top line, right? Jarvis, Aho, and Svechnikov.
Yeah.
After that, I almost feel like their second line could kind of platoon as the third. And the truth is, the best player coming into the Olympic break was Jordan Staal. By far, he was the most impactful, most consistent player, leading by example. It's not sounding the alarms about Carolina, but aspirations here in Carolina are different. So many years going into the playoffs, you get to the first, get second round, goaltending fails you. Get to the second round, or third round, is it third round last year against Florida? And something glaringly happens to you. You do not have that quality of player on your team that can get past what Florida brings to the table. There is not that physical element that can get around the picks. They can't deal with the adversity of the way that Florida plays the game. So I feel like to show your wear as a GM this year, Tulski's going to have to really reach deep into his analytics and find that prototypical archetype of player that's going to both fit this lineup in the system they play, right? It's not the prototypical system that every team plays is transition the puck through the neutral zone by carrying. It's not here. There's a lot of lobbing the pucks, creating turnovers, getting pucks in the zone, creating turnovers, offense off those plays. You got to find a guy that fits. I don't think Rantanen, to his credit, said what he wanted. I think he actually saved the Carolina Hurricanes a little bit because I didn't think he would fit the system or enjoy playing the system. You got to find a guy that fits the style of play that Roddy has his team playing. So are they going to make the playoffs? They're going to be well positioned? Yes. Do I think they're going to make noise? Not without some changes.
You're watching and listening to former National Hockey Leaguer Aaron Ward, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. So, Wardo, I don't want to use the line that it feels like at the trade deadline that the Carolina Hurricanes are Bridesmaids, because somebody already used that line.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty good, actually. I got to give him credit. That's pretty awesome line.
But it just feels like, even though you might feel like Rantanen wasn't the guy, he turned them down. Marner turned them down. They're still looking for somebody
Gensel.
out there. Sorry?
Gensel.
Thank you. And it just, it's got to start feeling a little tiresome. Before we could always sit there and go, hey, Carolina didn't want to spend the money. Apparently that's not an issue anymore.
Right.
So what is it that's going to get them over the hump to get somebody in? Is it Pettersson out of Vancouver? Tell me who's out there.
Do you want to bring that in? Here's the truth. What I just gave you for description of what the Carolina Hurricanes need is, does Pettersson qualify as a guy that's going to battle through anything? That's what I'm saying.
Carolina's not tough enough. Carolina's not tough enough to beat Tampa Bay. Not a chance. They got to get grittier and heavier.
Not the playoffs, but Florida exposed them for what they are. So here's the concern I have. So you just signed Bussy to an extension, and it has been for 7-8 years. I can't remember how long I've been saying it, almost bellowing from the tops of the hills, that the goaltending is never going to get you into the Stanley Cup Finals. You never have a mano where your goaltending is going to beat anybody else's that existed in Carolina. So you're basically Russian rouletting right now that somehow, some way, you're going to recapture a Cam Ward story with Bussy going into the playoffs, that he's going to somehow direct this team. He has not had the experience. I think he's played extremely well. He's been the story of the season for the Carolina Hurricanes, but I cannot put or entrust that amount of confidence in a guy that hasn't been exposed to what the playoffs are. Go further to what we're talking about. So Rantanen, Gensel, whoever has not come in or has come in and not stayed, you have to find someone who's going to be that key piece that somehow fits, right? So I'm going to say, is there anybody available out there that wants to come in and take a run at the playoffs? That's your selling job to them. And I'm not looking at, I'm not using Stamkos as an example, because I don't know where he's at or what his situation is in the contract. I'm using him as theoretically a player. If you're trying to get a guy towards the end that is in a less than ideal position with his team currently, not going to make the playoffs, has nothing to look forward to come springtime, you've got to take a mentality as a team of selling yourself almost like a recruit in college football. Get him under the idea that you're going to play with a ton of young talent. You're going to have an opportunity to play. Rod Brind'Amour will likely feature a guy that's a veteran in his offense, especially in the power play. And you've got a bunch of unselfish guys. If you watch them on the power play, God, they love to pass the puck around. And they love to set each other up. And it's a very harmonious situation. And it's just aching for a name to come in here.
Buddy, I got one for you.
Mark.
I got one for you.
Give it to me.
Kadri.
Okay, so I actually think Kadri is great for the jersey that's in behind. Yes. Before the Carolina
Montreal
Hurricanes.
to the audio listeners.
Okay, Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, I think, okay, so O'Reilly screams to me Roddy Brind'Amour player. He's got an offensive talent. I think he can figure out the game. He's such a smart individual, and he will grasp the concept of coming in, having played in Nashville and understanding the southern markets. He'll understand not just the environment in Carolina. I mean, we don't have country music here, but we got oceans. We got mountains. But he'll understand and probably be excited at playing for a guy who has an alignment mentally and psychologically in how he plays. Like, he's just a blood and guts kind of guy. And coming to Carolina may be something that sparks his interest because he gets an opportunity to compete when it really matters. So O'Reilly is really interesting. I think Kadri's also interesting. I don't know if Kadri necessarily fits the mold. You'd have to ask Tulsky if the numbers fit, or, you're watching him. Is he the type of style player that is the dump and chase? I believe he's got the heart to do it, but does he want to play that system for, 30-something playoff games potentially?
I know Kip was wanting to talk about Binnington too as a goalie. Is that fair to say?
I love that.
Be an option?
Yes. So here's the thing that's going for me. If you're a St. Louis fan, are you not looking at this team now and thinking to yourself, when is our time? Like, we have been kind of drug along for a while. Like, St. Louis is on the cusp. They're going to do something. And I feel like, okay, so there's names out there, Thomas, Binnington, like, there's got to be some major moves in St. Louis in some capacity to shake things up so that you give that fan base hope. I think there's a bidding war that's going to happen for a guy in Binnington because, listen, he was not our problem in the Olympics. In fact, he showed himself well in stressful situations. So now he has under his belt 4 nations, pretty damn good. Olympics, pretty damn good. Should lead any prospective organization to believe that you put a guy in a pressure situation like Binnington, he'll perform. What has not happened in Edmonton? They don't have a goal. They just don't have it. Edmonton, for what you saw last night, fall apart with a $146 against Anaheim, just pecking away and beating them, and it's like just a collapse. There's a mentality that has to be reshaped in Edmonton that I think Binnington can bring. I think that, he's not a world beater, but he is better than most. Do you remember back when we played, there was you go into a game, you think to yourself, there's so many names. I think Curtis Joseph and Hasek, your first thought beating a team was you have to beat the goalie. Yeah. There's not many teams you go up against anymore. You say the guy we got to beat is in net. Belfort. So I feel like serviceable for me, Binnington across the board. I believe teams should take a hard look because that kid's a kid. That guy's a competitor. He's a kid to me. I'm 53. Oh. He's a competitor, and I think he might bring an attitude that can be infectious in the locker room. Even if sometimes it's a little bit distracting trying to keep his emotions in check.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. It'd be great. I think it's a fit, too. I cannot see your front office there being every...
Boys, I have a better chance of leading the Toronto Ballet as the headliner than Binnington coming to Carolina. Yes, they're spending money here in Carolina, and I will tell you that I go to all the games and they're sold out, so the money's there. I think that there's a lack of patience now on why the willingness to spend the money. Dundon doesn't like to lose, and I think it's wearing on him. We just had a 20-year celebration of the Stanley Cup, and he was not part of it, and he had to watch us traipse ourselves onto that ice. And it's a reminder to a competitive guy in the business world. He still doesn't have his cup here.
Wardo, I can't think of a better scenario if you can flip Anderson and Binnington in a deal, right?
Yep.
And then have Busey under Binnington for another year, and then that's
okay. So I'll give you this: what I do know about Carolina, because they follow that mentality of accumulating draft picks and knowing that the more draft picks you have, the more likely you are to hit on something. There are players that are in Chicago that are talented and teams want. So I can see what you're talking about, a more than 1-for-1 deal where you can look at it and say, sweeten the pot, because not only do they have prospects that are sitting in Chicago and some of them playing in minor leagues, college and tier 2, but you also have a wealth of picks. So if I am a St. Louis, I think there is a deal to be made in that capacity because Carolina does have a wealth of assets available to them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Orno, don't be a stranger around our show, man.
Is the TV thing's a little foreign? I'm hoping I'm not getting eviscerated for the stash. I'm sorry.
I gotta tell you,
look good,
I straight up like the mustache. I am not much of a. It works for you.
Looking good.
It's getting gray. It's getting gray, boys.
Aren't we all?
Relatable.
Aren't we all?
That's what a hat's on. I still have hair, but I'm like we're getting tight in the side.
Hair's a big deal at our age.
Oh yeah.
Awesome stuff. That is Aaron Ward.
All right, thanks, guys.
3-time Stanley Cup champion, man. But love chatting with him.
I mean, Carolina's a fascinating team. They feel like a piece away or two pieces away.
Go into the
I just look at that center ice right now, and it's not getting it done right now. They're
what
good.
Is it down the middle?
Down the middle.
Robert Thomas and Binnington trade combination. Blockbuster.
Carolina down the middle.
Sebastian
Aho, Logan Stankoven, and Jordan Stahl.
Like Jordan Stahl, but Jordan's at the end of his career too, and he's going to give you some solid minutes, and he can still maybe shut someone down.
Mm-hmm.
But just Stankoven at number 2 isn't ready to beat Tampa Bay.
Kypreos, he's a good fourth-line center. So a second-line center. I mean, go get yourself second-line center and a goalie. 2 for 1. Got that on the Blues somewhere? I don't know.
I'm excited for this week. I love trades, man.
Yeah, do you think we're going to get them?
I would hope. We've only been talking about it all year. Kadri's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
At some
you're
point,
hearing more and more guys that this is going to happen for. Blues, I'm very interested to see if they actually do anything. It feels to me like they're show us what you got, but it's got to be good. And not many teams are really willing to do what Vancouver did to get Quinn Hughes. Sorry, Minnesota did.
I think the trade world is getting stronger every year at the draft. In the off season,
I've listened to you insiders say that for
and we still get 25 trades,
and then Brad Marchand gets traded out of nowhere at the deadline,
and then nothing happens at the draft. Who gets traded at the draft all year long? All the insiders. It seems like more of a thing that'll happen in the draft.
But I'm not an
Nothing
insider.
happens at the draft.
Oh, I'm not an insider, Mr.
No,
Trade
I'm not
Lord
an
4.0. I'm not telling you what I know. I'm just telling you what I hear.
Strong opinions. Strong opinions.
I heard some things.
12 games tonight.
Yeah, let's go. A lot of hockey.
Where do you guys have Ottawa? Because all the analytics says that they can do this if they get the goaltending.
If they get
that's
goaltending.
a big if.
That is a massive question for them tonight. And actually,
In Ottawa, interesting response. I mean, we're getting a preview. The Tkachuk thing.
Oh, is their first? Okay.
They're going to honor him.
Jake Sanderson too. Jake Sanderson had some funny. I shouldn't say funny, but had some quotes today about the aftermath. He apologized, I believe, for the reaction to the women.
Yeah.
That whole joke. And he said he was the first guy that really tried to be like, I know nothing about politics. He's like, not my world. I live under a rock. Not my thing. It's just like, you just can't really. Then don't get involved. Stay home.
Brother hit the sack.
You got about 20 guys in that room going like, I don't know how to react. I don't know.
Everyone's trying
There's
everything.
a nervous energy.
The room is the least of the worries. Brady Tkachuk goes back in there. The Canadian boys.
Oh, yeah, the room's.
You're like, you idiot. We hate. It's the room is the least of his worries.
Yeah, knucklehead.
Yeah, they don't. He's the captain. Like they're not all exactly political pundits in there. They're gonna chirp him a bit.
Where do you guys have Columbus right now?
Well,
like
they can't
destined
lose
for the playoffs.
Can't lose with Bones behind the bench. They've been red hot.
Yeah, they've been sneaky since they made the coaching flip. I saw that tonight. So the Columbus,
They got Boston tonight.
Massive playoff implications that game. Like the percentage odds of Boston making the playoffs for a win versus a loss. It's a double-digit percentage swing.
That gets started 7 p.m. on Sportsnet Ontario, Sportsnet
Great
West,
games.
New
Islanders,
Jersey,
Canadians,
and
awesome. Wings, Ottawa's awesome.
New Jersey and Pittsburgh on Sportsnet West. Sportsnet Pacific has Minnesota, and Colorado.
Dude, unbelievable night. Leafs, Panthers, Lightning, Canes.
Sportsnet 1, Calgary Flames and San Jose. So we are loaded up, Sammy. Don't be falling asleep tonight at like 11, Sammy.
Well, I got to do Leafs talk, so I'll be doing Leafs talk. I'll check out the second period of some game and then go to bed.
Once again, a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Enjoy your game tonight, and we're back on Off the Rails Friday. Did you find our little buddy, Dougie McLean?
I'll text Dougie right after the show is done, brother.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.